One of my favorite hobbies over the years was listening into fire and police radio. I live in the Naperville, Aurora, Illinois area, and unfortunately in 2013 everything has become IP based with a system called OpenSky. There is no scanner on the market that allows you to listen into the police or fire anymore. Previous to this IP-based system, there were digital scanners, and then there was trunking and a bunch of other technologies. What I have in front of me here are just straight analog scanners in the sense that they pick up just open airwaves. There's no decryption or anything special to do with the signal. It just allows you to listen to frequencies. At this point, they're becoming very, very hard to come by, so not a lot that you can do anymore, especially in this area. These units actually hold a decent value. I mean, they're not what I originally paid for them, but they do go on eBay for some decent money. So I'm going to hold on to them, even though they probably won't be worth as much in 6 months from now. I like collecting them. So for starters, I have two handheld models, and these are both made by Realistic, but they're actually made by a company called GRE. They made them for Realistic in the late 80s, early 90s. These are both the same scanner essentially, except the one on the left is called a Pro-34, the one on the right is a Pro-37. The difference is that the one on the right has a much faster processor, so when you're scanning some of those 200 channels that you can program, the one on the right is just significantly faster. But they both pick up the same frequencies, and if I lift this up and look, I'm not going to go through all this, but you'll see this thing has a pretty wide variety of frequencies, starting down at 30 megahertz on the far upper left, down to 896. So this does the 800 band, which was really big 20 years ago, I mean, not from now. The interesting thing about a lot of these scanners is that they were modifiable, so you could listen into cell phone conversations. Highly illegal, and actually in the early 90s, there was a law that passed that said that no scanner on the market could actually be manufactured to tune in channels. Well, what some of these companies did is they basically made it available so you could clip a part or clip a diode inside that would open up those frequencies. I'll talk a little bit more about that. So right here, this is tuned to a weather channel. But if I go into a, let's see here, into a scanning mode here, you're going to see that the frequencies in front of you right now, these are actually cell phone frequencies. So if I look at 876, 877, when I turn around and look at what the unit is supposed to be able to do, it's supposed to stop at 868 and start back up at 896. So this proves and this shows that it actually is scanning the cell phone band. Because all cell phones are now digital and they're not even using this band, it's just open static, so you really can't do anything with it anymore. Both of these have been modified, and they were a little tricky, but you had to open them up and unsolder a bunch of parts. You clip that diode and it would open it up. But basically they're very good units. You can program them, and I just use these to listen to all sorts of stuff over the years. This right here is the Pro-2006. And most people still will say that this may be one of the best scanners that was ever made. This was also made by GRE. What it is it's a 400 channel scanner, meaning you can program 400 channels in it, and it has an extremely wide frequency range. So the handhelds had a lot, but if I look here at the label, this one starts at 25 at the upper left. It goes all the way down to 1300 megahertz. So this thing was actually ahead of its time, because when it came out, nothing was even in the gigahertz or the 1000 megahertz range. Kind of interesting though, just how advanced this one was. Right now I have this one tuned to an FM radio station because it'll pick up FM radio. Okay. And if I go into the program mode, let's see here, and I go into a scan, you'll see again this is in the 800, the upper 800s, which are cell phone frequencies. So it was a lot of fun back in the day, because you hear about people picking stuff up, people having affairs. I mean, you'd be surprised, the general public, the types of information that you hear when you listen into other people's conversations. I'm going to go ahead and remove the antenna, and I'm going to show you the diode in here. This one was one of the easiest scanners to modify. So I hope that the camera will focus in okay. But down here, you're going to see, okay, let me let it focus. You're going to see a clipped wire. It's the second one back there. On the left, you're going to see part of the wire, then the other one on the right, you're going to see the other part right there. When you clip that, all it does is it opens up those other frequencies. So very easy to modify, and it was a fun scanner back in the day. This one right here is a Uniden Bearcat. Not the best of scanners. In fact, I never really used this. I bought this one, I think, really cheap and just never put it in my car. This one also will do the 800 band. And it doesn't have as many frequencies as the other ones, and there's no listing on this, so I can't, I mean, I could pull out the manual, but it doesn't do nearly as much as these two scanners, these three scanners over here did. But this was really good for a car, and it had a car mount, but I just never got around to putting it in. So anyways, these are analog scanners, if you will, and you can get them on eBay, and I think in some rural communities you'll always be able to use them, but some of the real fun, though, the days are over, at least in this area. So hope you found that interesting. We'll catch you later.